Scenario: New vendor workflow. Annette Hill is responsible for entering new vendors. Her work levels have increased as Cronus International has grown. She's finding it difficult to manage her tasks and does not have a clear view of what she needs to do each day and what her priorities are. Vendor contracts are not being filed correctly, and incorrect account data is being entered. Let's take a look at the process flow diagram. It begins by creating the vendor folder, followed by attaching the vendor contract, and lastly to review the vendor setup. Let's translate this into a Gillis workflow. When a new vendor is set up in NAV, it will automatically trigger the new vendor workflow, along with the 3 to-dos, one after another. The first 2 to-dos will be forwarded to Annette Hill, and the third to-do to the finance team. We'll take special note of how the second to-do, attach vendor contract, requires the document to be stored. A new vendor is set up in NAV, and therefore a workflow is automatically triggered. There are 3 to-dos in the workflow. We can see them here. The first to-do is a now to-do and will be forwarded to Annette Hill. The second to-do is an upcoming to-do and will also be forwarded to Annette, and the third to-do will be forwarded to the finance team at the right time. We'll now look at the workflow from Annette's perspective and then the finance team. I log in to NAV 2009 as Annette Hill, and I can see that I have 2 new open to-dos. One is upcoming and one is a now to-do. My now to-do is to create the vendor folder, and it's simply a manual completion. When I've done that, I'll update my to-do as closed. I return to my roles center and see that the upcoming to-do has now moved to a now to-do. This time it's a document storage. Let's go edit that to-do, and it gives me instructions that I need to select the vendor contract in the file path name. I simply go to that field and go and select the vendor contract and attach that there. It updates my to-do as now completed. I return to my role center, and for now my work is complete. I now log in as Harry. He belongs to the finance team, so we see that he has 1 new now to do: to review the dimension and posting setup. I may want to go straight to the vendor card to see that setup by clicking on the Assign To. Once I've checked everything, I'm happy with it now, so I'll update my to-do as closed. The workflow is now complete. So what is the result? The new vendor process is running smoothly. Annette is no longer forgetting to attach the contract, and Bart is very happy about this. Annette can now manage her workload a lot more efficiently. Harry's balance sheet balances again, and he loves being assured that he will be notified of all new vendors.